Hello and welcome along to the finals of United League Reborn 3 Trackmania Training Challenge Cup, presented to you by yours truly, Forgot10 and MixD.
Good evening.
So, this is the final of this Training Challenge Cup, and we have 16 players who are going to be fighting for ultimate glory. The list is Garfield, Neko, Lolomax, Black Q, Phil, Joey, Maxi, Rams, Corky, Tim, Norman, Zepset, Samko, Izom, Furax, Nemesis, and Lance. Yeah, that was a long list.
That's quite a lineup.
Yeah. Who would you expect to come out on top next?
That's so hard with this kind of lineup. Well, Lolomax certainly has experience, a lot of experience in driving matches like this. So I guess I would have to say he's my top pick, but he's certainly going to be chased by a lot of people. Black Q is another name that I'm going to be keeping an eye out for. Yeah, but what can you say? There's Neko. And loads of amazing drivers. Norman, Phil. Yeah.
Yes,
So we'll see. But yeah, my money, Lolomax, I think, is who I favour.
so many amazing drivers. Yeah, I think Lolomax has a real chance. I mean, he is a 2 times GC champion after all. Not everyone can boast of that.
Indeed.
But yeah, Black U should be probably his closest contender. A lot will actually depend on how much people trained.
Yes, indeed. Of course, they've seen these maps throughout ULR. And would have been training them, I expect, for semi-finals that we had recently. So I think people will be pretty hot, even if they haven't trained over the last couple of days.
Yes. And I think Lolomax would have trained, well, if not every track, then most of them at the very least, because he's obviously one of the best TMO drivers out there, so he will be on fire on at least 3 tracks. Then there's Bay Island. He is pretty good there. He, I think, was trained on Coast even, and I saw him in top 30 on Stadium recently.
Okay. Well, that should be interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously when we're playing 7 environments, then that's where all-rounders really come out. And although we do talk about Lolomax sort of being particularly strong in TMO, it's fair to say he's an all-rounder. I mean, as you say, having won GC twice, you can't do that without being an all-rounder.
Yes, and not many people can actually boast of the fact that they won GC even once, and to win it twice, yeah, you have to be an all-rounder. There's no other way. Like, if we go through the list, who do we have? Zeus with 3 titles, Lolomax and Tono, 2 each, and then Sander and Marok, 1 time each. Also, yeah, go on.
I'm not sure of the full list, actually. It'd be nice to have that in front of me, but I was wondering how many GCs there actually have been. Is it 11?
The last GC was GC12, but I don't have a lot of information about the first 4 editions which were played in TMO and TMS.
A lot of the archives have been lost, as it were, in the mists of time.
Yes, indeed. But
So,
what I can tell you is that since GC5, the GCs, the Giant Cups, have been played in Trackmania United. And I can actually give you the whole list of winners. It's
yay!
not that difficult. GC5 was Zeus. GC6, in case anyone is not aware, was a shared victory between Sander and Lolomax. And I'm actually glad that it was that way and admins didn't decide to give the victory to whoever won more maps around.
Yeah, that's a major flaw in Trackmania, in my opinion. That when two drivers have the same time, it's not clear. Trackmania itself chooses one of them to get more points, and it's not clear on what basis Trackmania does that. It would be good if either there was some clarity on that, or, I mean, in the final analysis, you can use a PF map so you know drivers really do finish on exactly the same time. You know, it doesn't go down to thousandths and millionths of a second. It's like, no, that is exactly the same time, and yet one of them gets more points. It's, as I say, what I consider a flaw in Trackmania. So it's nice that the community, or I should say admins, give an equal sort of score. I should say 2 winners.
Yeah.
That was an epic match. I remember, I mean, Sander was behind on Coast on the last round, and he said he went full risk. And it worked out.
Yeah. And then we had GC7, which Marok had won. GC8 was Zeus's second title. GC9, Lolomax's second title. GC10, Tona's first time. What was interesting about GC10 is that Zeus actually didn't qualify for the finals,
Okay.
even though he played the semis.
He may well not have had time to train.
Yes, I think there was a lot of stuff going on for him in real life, and he just didn't have enough time to train.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Adulting.
yeah. GC11 was Zeus's third time, and GC12 Tona's second title. So Zeus was basically winning every 3 years. If the thing went on, he would have won GC14 for sure.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Okay, so it looks like we had been waiting on Chemco or Semco, and we've waited long enough.
Yes, and we are finally ready to start with Stadium, as I'm informed. So, who do we have for Stadium? I think Semco is going to be hot.
Yep.
Because he's one of the fastest Stadium drivers out there.
Yeah, I'd expect him to go into an early lead on Stadium. We'll see.
I mean, other than him, I don't... Wait, do we actually have Semco on the server?
No, it's a good point. We were waiting for him, but we gave up, so we don't. So, my apologies on that.
No, indeed,
so
he's not present. We only have 15 drivers.
Yeah.
So, the main favorite for Stadium is absent. Yeah, all of these drivers, well, most of them are at least decent on Stadium.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know who to pick. Q is going to be pretty strong, I think. Corky, Lolomax, Furax.
Yep.
Maybe Tim. Ezom. Not sure.
Yeah, it's tough.
Zepset, I think, was a good stadium driver too. Yeah, let's see. It's going to be interesting.
Let's warm up over. Not
Yes.
sure who came first in warm up.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Stats.
I wasn't really following. All right.
Oh, we don't have fast running here.
We do. /ML in chat.
Yeah, cheers.
Does the job. And the lights are out, and away we go. And we have 15 drivers going off the line into the first turn. Ooh, we already have a crash. And Izom is in early lead, but he loses it to Black Q and Furax, who are going to be fighting to get as many points as they possibly can. And I'm on Lance. He's in third position, chasing Black Q and Furax. Q not making any mistakes. I see Corky is up into second after a couple of good turns. Lance had a touch. A lot of people are coming by. Ooh, I think Black Q must have had a crash because he's dropping positions and he is now into, I think, fifth position. It is going to be close between him and a couple of drivers, and he finishes fifth. Furax takes this round. Yes, it is quite dense actually.
Yep.
Which is to be expected with the quality of the drivers we have here.
Yeah, first 6 drivers very close. Black Q putting down an impressive start, just a bit unfortunate about that mistake. Here we go, and Lands makes an early mistake. He's really lost a lot of time. So Black Q out in front again, making a statement. Hopefully, for him, he manages to keep that up. He's chased by Izom. Izom goes into first actually, but there is a tight pack behind them waiting to pounce on any mistake. Izom pulling out a good lead. That is impressive. I didn't realize he was quite so good on Stadium that he could pull out so much points. 6 ahead at the moment. Lolomax and Neko chasing. And where is Black Q? Black Q down in 12th. Wow.
Yes, an interesting turn of events, and Izom with a 59 actually. A good time already.
Yeah. A second ahead nearly of Lolomax. Well, 0.8, but you know.
Yes, that is a statement of intent right there. Round 3. Here we go, once again. I don't think anyone crashed at those poles. Izom is out in front once again, but it is hotly contested between him, Neko, and Black Q. Izom seems to be prevailing at this very moment, but everything can change. Neko had a touch with that wall. He will drop a lot of positions. Black Q. Ooh, Zepset made a mistake. That will have cost him dearly. Izom is still holding on to that lead. And Black Q still trying to catch him, but to no avail. Some interesting lines there. Black Q actually goes into the lead and makes it stick. First position for him, Izom second. And Gafovsky must have had a crash. He is almost 6 seconds down.
So Izom is pulling out a useful lead, looking at the scores at the moment. 9 points ahead already. So yeah, he's really putting it down on Stadium. Black Q obviously is going to make an effort to catch up here. We're in round 4. I think we lost. We didn't completely lose a couple of drivers, just a little bit of time that they've lost. He's on a little bit back just now, but certainly with the times he's capable of, he should be able to pull it back. That queue going a bit wide, so he's lost a bit of time. Max in first. Well, can Izom get all the way up there? He is currently 0.6 behind, and there's not that much track left to gain that kind of time. Still he's in fifth, which is still useful points. The Black Q and Lolomax. Ooh, Corky change it and make it unlucky.
Yes.
Izom still made it up to fourth. That's good points.
Yes, solid performance by the drivers leading this round. 100 low, which is more than good enough, I think, for somebody who is not a stadium specialist. And we have last round. And Izom is once again fighting for that lead. We saw somebody dropping away after encountering that wall. That might have been Black Q actually. He is in last position. Yes, behind Gafovsky, already in front of him, but let's see what the leaders are up to. It is Izom, Corky, Lance and Maxi who is trying to win this. Will he be able to? Only time will tell. Izom, 0.3 ahead of Corky, his closest follower. Ooh, Izom went a bit too wide, somebody crashed at this downhill, Lolomax had to slow down. And Izom takes another round, followed by Corky, Maxi, Lanza and Neko. And I think this was the last round.
Yep.
And we have Izom, Corky and Lolomax as the top 3 drivers after Stadium.
Yeah, Izom's got a pretty useful lead there, 18 points already. See if he can hold on to it in the other environments. Here comes Desert, so we certainly expect Lolomax to pick up points here.
Oh yes, Lolomax and Desert. Can you name any more iconic combinations?
Oh, well, Forgotten and Island.
Well, I would say you'd go for Moroccan Desert. You did not.
That's true.
But yes, I've already seen Lolomax playing 2 matches, I think, on this track, and he was impressive to say the least. Not crashing even once, which is a rare occurrence on this track, and driving 57 consistently, sometimes even down to 56. But we also shouldn't forget about Black Q.
Yeah, so we don't know how trained Black Q is right now. I don't think he's had a lot of time to train. He's certainly got the skills to win this, but it's just a question of how crashy he's going to be.
Yes, we also have Neko with Daddy 1 in rounds. With the top 1 time in rounds Daddy Mania. He will also be hot, but he was crashy last time we saw him. Let's see. And there's also Phil in top 4 in Daddy, and I think he was also a good desert driver.
Yes.
Yeah, warm up over. Take it away, Max.
This is going to be quite a titanic matchup. I hope between Neko and Lolomax, the main question mark being how crashy is Neko going to be. Neko pulls out an early lead, followed closely, and crashes. So now Black Q has taken it over, followed closely by Lolomax and Phil, so exactly the names we were expecting up front. Barring crashes, Furax crashes, so let's not follow him. Who do we have? Maxi is in 6th. So Garfovsky also a strong TMO driver. Could do some damage on this environment also. He's on there in 5th. That's interesting. So he's going to stay up there in the points. He's on 4th actually, my bad. And Garfovsky though passes him on the final straight. Who else is going to crash here? Norman bringing up the rear. So Black Q putting down a good time, a 57.04. That's only 0.7 off of Daddy 1, sorry, 0.6 off Daddy 1.
Yes, 57.04 in the very first round. That is impressive. And yeah, I also forgot about Garfovsky's existence after Stadium. But he is definitely going to pick himself up. Scrape himself off the bottom. He's already into 14th after that first round. And he is fighting for the lead in this one. With Izom and Blackyu. Ooh, he went a bit wide. Lost some speed there. So Blackyu and Izom are fighting for the lead. Followed by Zepset and Lolomax. Lolomax is definitely going for consistency. We already see Blackyu crashing. That, I think, puts him out of contention for the round win. And Izom takes it, followed by Lolomax, Blackyu, Garfovsky and Zepset. Neko only 6th with a time of 58.72.
Yeah, he had at least one fairly bad crash, so I think he did pretty well to only be a second behind on that one. Yeah, as expected, maybe just trying slightly too risky lines. Of course, everyone wants to come first because it's a lot more points, you know, than even second place. It's 25 to 20 points. So really the leaders getting it into the first places, it makes a big difference. Black Q is obviously looking for that right now in first place. Followed by, there is a tight pack fighting for second, Neko, Lolomax and Garfield. As you said, Garfovsky really was punished on Stadium, but he's going to come up through all the other environments, I expect. And Neko again with a slight mistake. Loses a little bit of time, not much, but it's enough to drop him back 2 places. Can Lolomax make a difference here? Is anyone going to crash this risky finish? It doesn't look like it. So Q takes it, and Lolomax and Phil. Where did Phil come from? He came in there with the exact same time of Garfovsky, but he got the win. I thought Garfovsky surely had it, but there you go. Sniped by Hillis, as it were. That bonus point from Hillis.
Just the thing you were talking about before we started. Trackmania decided to put Phil ahead of Garf. So it's round 4 on this desert track. Neko has been crashing every single round so far. Can he make it to the finish safely this time? At the moment Lolomax is in first position, followed by Black Q. Oh, Lolo dropped down to 3rd. We saw somebody having a big crash. So it is right now Neko from Lolomax, from Black Q and Phil, followed by Zepset and Garfovsky. Neko is finally in the lead by this tunnel. And Black Q crashed again. That is not what I That is not what I was expecting to see from him. And Neko is building up the lead, over 0.4 seconds up on Lolomax. 57.21 from Lolomax, Phil, Zepset and Garf, and only 6th position for Black Q.
Yeah, Neko, when he can put in a crash-free round. That's the kind of performance he can put in. I'd see in the points is Lolomax goes past Izom on that round. So he's going to start building up more of a lead. So here we go into the final round on Desert. And it looks like, oh, we had somebody bump on, might have been Tim. Tim and Furax lost some time there at the start with some mistakes. Let's go up with the leaders. Garfovsky in 4th. Black Q and Neko fighting out. Garfovsky with a crash, so he's losing a lot of places there. So he is way down in 11th now. So, Neko in 1st. Can he hold it together for this round? Oh, Black Q with a tighter line. Picks up some time, and they're neck and neck. And Q gets in front. Neko was a little bit of a mistake there in the tunnel. Whereas Lolomax, well, unless they make a mistake at the finish here, finish straight, they've got it. So it's Q, Neko, Lolomax, Zepset in 4th. A nice result for him. Followed by Nemesis, Lens, and Joey. Or Joe.
Yes, also I've got a question in chat from Hamster. Does speed when finishing matter when time is the same? I honestly have no idea. Do you know anything about it, Mix?
I really don't. There are multiple theories about why Trackmania chooses one driver to have the point over any other. I think Maria says it depends on who has the fastest time so far in the map. So if you're in the 3rd round, you might have set a better time in the 2nd round. So, some people say it's who entered the server first. Some people say it's who has the most points. But for most of these, you could say, well, what about a PF map? Say you go into a PF map and you both, get definitively exactly the same time. Normally we say it's the same time, but we only have a precision to 100th of a second. So you never really quite know. Maybe Trackmania would do something fancy at the finish. Calculates your exact position and exact trajectory and can get a much finer resolution time than it actually presents on the user interface. But with a PF map, well, that's just not possible. And yet still Trackmania chooses, somebody to give them this one. So there has to be some deeper logic, and maybe it is. Maybe there are multiple choices it makes. And the only way to really know is to reverse engineer the code or ask Nadeo. Ask Hillis.
Yeah, or maybe ask Black-Q, who had, I believe, reverse engineered some of Trackmania.
Yeah, some of it. Lots of people have reverse engineered various parts of Trackmania. I've done quite a lot myself, but this is one particular aspect that I haven't looked into deeply enough.
Okay, we're about to start map number 3, Island. And how far is Norman going to climb back up the leaderboard from 15th position? Is the main question. Okay, first round we have Black-Q going a bit safe in that tunnel. Joey is leading away. And he had an encounter with that checkpoint. Black-Q went a bit safe on the tunnel entrance, which put Norman into the lead. And he crashed. That is not really what I expected to see from him. So Black-Q is leading from Lolomax, from Izom, from Phil and Neko. Yeah, Norman might be a bit too eager to win these rounds, going a bit too fast, but this track is simply unforgiving. You cannot make any mistakes, they will cost a lot of time. And Black-Q will finish with a time of 58.97, followed by Lolomax, Izom, Neko and Phil. Yes, he was driving a bit safe, but that got him exactly into the first position.
Yeah, Norman has certainly been punished on the previous maps, and as you say, we would hope that he would pick up a lot of points here. I know he's capable of regrouping and refocusing and going back to consistency. We saw it in the match versus CMC, where in the initial rounds he was very crashy, but then put in a very, very solid performance in the closing rounds. And he is away with a very useful lead right at the start. Black Q chasing has got a little bit closer, and Joey, who has really improved his skills over the last year, is certainly going to give them a good fight. So at the moment, Norman looking pretty safe. He should really just save these last turns, and looks like he's going to do that. But Black Q also going to pick up even more points. He's going to extend his lead over Lolomax. Lolomax only coming in 6th there. This is one of the environments where Lolomax is not going to be quite so good. And Izom putting in a good performance here.
Yes,
It's like he's a solid all-rounder at the moment.
Yes, he is. I believe he's only struggling with rally. He's definitely not a one-trick pony, that's for sure. Round number 3. Black Q is out in front, but ooh, he's crashed, and I think Black Q has crashed as well. Yes, he did. So what do we have? Norman in the lead, followed by his teammate Izom, followed by Lolomax, Phil, Gafovsky, Korki, and many other people behind them. Can Norman make it work? And Lolomax is... Ooh, Izom slid there. He lost a chunk of time. Lolomax finds himself in 2nd position. And he's not necessarily going for any heroics, but he's getting the points. Norman finishes with a low 58, followed by Lolomax, Phil, Izom, and Garf. And yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, 2nd place is 2.3 seconds off of 31. So, yeah, Norman had a lead of over a second there, but I mean, his time was certainly good, but it's not threatening 31, that's for sure. Which is what you would hope for in this kind of rounds-oriented competition. And as we go into this round, we have the usual suspects up front: Black Q, Norman, Izom, and Joey. They're closely followed by Phil, and Lolomax in 6th at the moment, makes some mistakes, loses a bit more time, and Neko is right on him. Closely followed by Garfield. Island's not traditionally a Garfield strength, but doing pretty well. Izom makes a mistake and loses a lot of places there. So at the moment we've got Norman out in front again, putting in a solid performance, followed by Q and Phil. Any mistakes here at the finish? Nope. And Neko in 4th. Lolomax in 5th. And Joey coming in next. So Black Q pulling ahead of Lolomax there in the driver points so far, 283 to 279.
Yeah.
They're putting a little bit of a gap between themselves and Izom.
Yes, and Norman up into 11th already, and I think he's about to eat a couple more places. Yeah, a couple more guys in front of him. If he doesn't crash, that is. Which is... Ooh, we already saw somebody sliding away. Black Q crashed. Izom fighting for the lead with Norman. Not something I was expecting to see. Phil crashed. And Lolomax must have crashed because he is too far behind the leaders. which are Norman, Izom, Gafowski, Corky, and Neko. And Norman is just flying away into the distance. And this is... Ooh, somebody with a slide. That was Corky, I think. Can Norman finish with a 57? He will try. Izom still hanging on in second position, followed by Gaff, Neko. Corky was trying to snipe Neko, didn't manage that. Finishes fifth. Yes, Norman with another round win. As you said, he managed to regroup and pick himself up.
Yeah, so that should put him in 8th, I think, at the moment.
Yes, I think we're going to see the scoreboard. Yes, he's up into 8th after just one map. So the leaders are Black Q, Lolamax and Izom, and I missed the points. I think there's about 5 to 8 points between Q and Lolamax.
Yeah, it's 5, so really not much. I mean, that's just the difference between first and second place.
Yes, and now it's going to be interesting, because we're going to see rally. Some people are disconnecting to adjust their input settings externally, let's put it that way.
Well, no, let's call it as it is. They're probably going to be firing up DX Tweak to adjust the sensitivity of their controller. Controversial topic.
Yes, a DX cheat, as some people call it.
Yeah. A lot of people feel that you shouldn't be allowed to use external tools to modify things that aren't permitted in the drivers or in the game itself. But it is quite a tricky one because this tool, DX Tweak, that they're using was actually developed by Logitech, who are the exact same people who obviously developed drivers for the joysticks that many of these drivers are using. So, well, some people talk about third-party tools. You can't use third-party tools. That's really the wrong focus. It's not who develops the tool. It's what the tool does that matters.
Yes, and since this is rally, we're going to expect a lot of fights between Black Q, Lolamax, Neko, Gafowski, and I think that's about it for the cream of the crop.
Yeah. I'm expecting Phil to pick up some places here. I mean, we see there is a close fight for 5th, 6th and 7th place, only 4 points separating them.
And Gafowski is definitely going to make more of his comeback on this track. Definitely going to overtake Norman.
Yes, I would agree with that. So here we go, first round, and we do have an early... We lost somebody, but I'm not sure who it was. So anyway, Black Q leading the way with a small but useful gap. Garfowski right behind him, followed by Norman, Volmax and Neko. Sure, Volmax is going to be fighting hard to get past Norman at least. But yeah, surprising gaps opening up here already. The main fight, Lolamax. Oh, Norman makes mistakes. The Lolamax is right on him now. It looks like he's going to go past here as we get into the bridge section. And he's not quite making it stick. Norman holding on. So how much are they going to risk at this finish? Here we go over the engine killers. So it's all about braking and not sliding. Don't hit the rocks. And everyone does it safe. No mistakes there at the end. Black Q, Garfowski, Norman, Volomek, Neko.
Yes, and I'm surprised to see that Norman has managed to finish in 3rd position. He wasn't
It was
exactly...
a good effort for him on rally, yeah.
Yes, that is a strong performance, but that is not something I was expecting to see from him. Surprisingly good there. And a 112 also. A solid result. Will we see 111s? I think we will. Round 2. Who is going to come out on top of this tricky section? I think it is Neko, but this turn Lolamax actually miscalculated it and crashed. So we have Black Q out in front. Oh, he's going a bit wide. Everything is changing at such a fast rate. I cannot quite keep up. So it's Neko and Phil fighting for that lead, followed by Norman, Garth and Black Q. And there's quite a battle between Neko and Phil. But Gafowski, Q and Norman are not going to give up. Neko is just about managing to stay ahead. Still there. But Phil is making a lot of effort. Nope, didn't work for him. Actually finished only third. Neko, Garfield, Phil, Norman and Lolamax. Black Q only 6th.
Lolomax actually made a good comeback there. He had a crash, as he said early on, just bumping the inside of that tight chicane, but he then also got punished on the drop from the bridge. He got a bug on landing. So he did well to come back from that. We should mention that this map does have a couple of spots where you can just randomly lose time and bounce into the air, which, well, you can lose time, but you can really lose a lot of places depending on quite how bad it goes. But here's this drop. Does anyone bug? None of the leaders. So who's going to do the wall hit on this entrance? Garfowski does. Other drivers trying to keep a cleaner, more predictable line. Garfowski a little bit wide on the exit from the tunnel, so he loses time there. And these top 3 are tight. This could change easily, even through this dirt section. Lolamax is really putting the pressure on Q right here. This turn is crucial because you carry the speed all the way up here. Here's another bug point potentially. Nobody bugged there as he transitioned from the dirt onto the bridge. Garfowski going safe on that turn, but he didn't lose much time on it. There's the engine killer. It's all about braking points now. Any rocks? Nope. Everyone misses the rocks. So we finish with Black Q in first, Lolamax tight on his tail, and followed up by Neko and Garfowski. So 1:12:37 Q there.
His second best time driven so far. The best one was 12.29 from Black Q as well. Round 4, Black Q still first, actually building up a bit of a lead, 13 points ahead of Lolamax. So into the tarmac we go, and Garfowski has come out on top but lost a bit in this turn. So it is Black Q from Lolamax and Garfowski, followed by Neko, I believe, and Joey actually keeping up with the leaders. Some people went for the wall banks, some didn't. It worked well for everyone. Q with a mistake in that tunnel, which cost him 2 positions. He's down into third, but he's fighting back. He's already ahead of Lolamax. Didn't quite manage to make it work. Dropped more time. Still in third position. The lead belongs to Garfowski. He is followed by Lolamax. And will we see any changes of position at the finish? Only time will tell. Not long to go. The engines are off and people are braking. Garfield finishes first from Lolamax, Q, Neko and Norman. A strong round from him once again.
Phil only in 10th there. I was hoping and expecting Phil would pick up more positions and more points on rally, but hasn't done great right now. He can still pick up a place. He could, if he pick up 3 places if he put in just an excellent performance on this round. We will see. And the wobbly section caught a couple of drivers out there. I think Maxi and Tim. And Phil makes a mistake. He hits the wall and loses a lot of time. And then I think he also got the bug on landing. So we switch to Zepset, who is in 4th right now. He's really put in a strong performance here. He's in 5th place on driver points right now. He does have a gap to the first 4, but he's, like I say, putting in a strong position. Black Q is in 4th right now, but he's fighting back. He's in 3rd as he goes past Lands. And up front, we've got Lolomax in the lead, followed closely by Garfovsky. Garfovsky loses a little bit of time there. Lolomax should be able to just save this and come in first, okay. And again, no mistakes at the finish. Furax with a bit of a mistake, loses some time and positions there. Phil in 8th, so he's probably not going to make up positions behind Norman, so Norman is going to stay where he is.
Yes, and Lolamax actually managed 111 right at the very end. Albeit 0.99, it was still a 111.
And we see the exodus of drivers as they go to disable their DX tweak or alternative software. There are other tools you can use to achieve the same effect, so DX tweak seems to be the popular choice.
Yes, and
Trackmania.
And an extended pause is definitely there to help, so they're going to make it back in time without losing any warm-up time. We actually might have more warm-up rounds than usual because of that, or because there's a bit of a pause. So we have Black Q, Lolamax and Neko in top 3 positions. So Garfield managed to climb all the way up into 5th by this point.
Yeah, there is only one TMO environment left to run. Oh, that's Alpine. We have Alpine, Coast and Bay coming up. I'm not sure which order they're in. It looks like Bay is next at least.
Okay, I will leave you for a couple of minutes. We have 3 warm-up rounds. We'll be back soon.
Okay. So yeah, looking at the map order, we have Bay, Alpine and Coast coming up in that order. So here, I'm expecting Black Q to put in a strong performance here. Obviously, again, depending on his training level, but Bay is one of his strengths, in my opinion. He almost puts himself down on every environment. He is one of the strongest Trackmania drivers. He does, at the moment, have a very slight lead on Lolomax. Q on 405 points and Lolomax on 399. So obviously that can change in just one round. That can change quite a lot. And then Lolomax has a useful gap of 40 points to Neko, who in turn is 19 points ahead of Ezom, who is 17 points ahead of Garfovsky, who's very closely followed by Zepset, just further 2 points behind. And then we have Norman, who is on 305 points, so exactly 100 points behind Black Q. So after 4 maps to be that far behind, that's going to be difficult to make up that kind of gap. So I'm not sure, looking at the names, Norman, Phil, Corky, Maxi, Furax, Joey, Lance, Nemesis, and Tim. I don't think any of those drivers are going to be able to make up a 100-point deficit at this point. I mean, you never know, but that's what I'm betting on at the moment. As we see Hawk arriving on the server. I'm not sure why he's not in this. Hawk, a very, very strong driver. He could certainly have held his own with these chaps, but I'm not sure if he just didn't take part in the training cups or why he didn't qualify one way or another.
Okay,
He's not here.
I'm back. So
Just assessing the driver chances as we've been through 2 warm-ups. I'm noting in particular that Black Q has a 100-point lead over Norman. So just thinking about that gap and whether over the following 3 maps it's possible to make up that kind of gap. And I'm going to say no. That's what I'm betting on.
yes, especially considering that 2 of the tracks that are left to play are Bay and Snow, where we can expect Black Q to be exceptionally strong.
Although he won't say that himself.
Yes, if you ask
Sure, he'll
him,
be saying, I'm not a good Bay driver, I'm not a good Alpine driver. We'll see, we'll see.
yes, but yeah, on this track I would definitely expect Q to put up an impressive performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I would expect him to pick up more points in this. I think he's gonna be the leader on this one. Although, having said that, I don't have JJ's statistics, jumper jack statistics in front of me to confirm or deny or predict that. I would expect Lolomax again to be a strong contender here.
I'm not sure how well trained Lolomax is on this track, but he is Lolomax, so
Yeah,
we can expect a lot.
that's why I should have the stats in front of me to be able to say, you know, to educate myself and inform myself on what their real strengths are. But of course, that's based on past performances, so we don't really know. Maybe they've trained hard. But here we go into the first rounds.
Yes, first round, and away we go. And who do we have in the lead? Furax, Black Q, Izo, Maxi, and Black Q already starting to build a gap from the chasing pack, which is headed by Izom, who had a bit of a bug that cost him some time. So at the moment it's Neko, Norman and Joey, the closest followers. Joey falling behind, Neko keeping up in second, Norman is third, Izom coming back, staying right there with Lolomax. Ooh, this is a tight pack. And this is Black Q with a 57.05, followed by Neko, Joey, Norman and Izom, and then Lolomax.
Yeah, that was a hell of a fight over third, fourth, and fifth place. 100th of a second between them all, and 1 point difference between those positions. Neko with a very strong performance there. Is he going to pick up a lot of points here? Is he going to... It looks... Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed he can keep up that kind of performance. And so far he is in fighting for third, fourth, fifth. Oh, but he does slide out. So Joey now takes over third, chasing down Black Q and Norman, who are neck and neck. Well, as I say that, Black Q pulling out a slight lead. Norman losing a little bit of time in that section. So Joey picks up his second place, but Norman is fighting back and brings it back. Joey with a mistake there, so Neko goes past him. Izom goes into fourth. Who's going to risk this finish? And Izom goes past Neko. A strong performance here from Izom in third place. Norman with a top 6 there, 57.16. And Black Q with a very strong time of 56.78. Compared to 56.42 for Daddy 1. That is an excellent time for rounds mode when maybe some drivers should be driving safer.
Yes, according to Black-Q, this track does not present any significant challenge whatsoever. It's mostly about full steer turns and timing your input to perfection. I am not sure whether I agree with him or not, but he definitely is able to execute that to perfection. So we had Neko with a crash that dropped him back by quite a lot. Black-Q is once again up in first, followed by Izom, Joey, Fail, Furax, Zepset and Lolomax. Yes, people are able to stay close to Black-Q, but nobody is able to do it that consistently. Will he bring home another impressive 56 or a low 57? I think he is going to be doing just that. Ooh, Phil had a massive crash. That is not good. And somehow Black-Q managed to drop time at the end because he only finished second. So it is Izom, Black-Q, Joey, Zepset, Furax for top 5.
Yeah, Izom picking up a lot of useful points there over Neko. They're fighting over third place in the standings so far. And yeah, that's an extra 10 points for Izom there that he gained. Black Q certainly seems to have quite an understanding of the physics of the Bay car. It's a little hard to follow him right now. He does seem to be suffering from some lag, so we see him dropping places every now and then, but it's not because he actually is, it's just a bit of network lag that seems to be affecting him alone. Izom with a bad mistake that costs him a lot of places. I'm following Neko right now, who is just moved into fourth place, going past a couple of drivers, but Phil comes back, and so does Furax. That is a battle there over fourth, and that was Norman with a bad mistake. That's going to put him right back. Good punishing. Black Q in the lead again, and Neko with another mistake. Oh, and that will cost him dearly at this point in the map. Black Q brings it home with another 56, followed by Joey putting a strong performance, Zepset, Garfowski, and Corky.
Yes, and
Black Q is really pulling out. Lolomax, I'm not sure what position he finished there, but it was definitely not in the top 8. He's got 40 points over Lolomax right now.
yes, another strong round from Black-Q, and into the last round we go. Black-Q is in the lead once again, which is... Oh, he made a mistake there and dropped a lot of places. This is not what I was expecting to see. And we have Furax in the lead, which is somewhat... Oh no, he crashed! That is not going to be good news for him. Izom finds himself in the lead right now. And he is fighting with Neko, who seems to be having a slight edge. Yes, he is, but Black-Q is actually coming back at them. And he, I think, will be able to... No, he won't. Izom is going to take this round, followed by Black-Q, Neko, Lolomax and Joey. An impressive comeback nonetheless from Black-Q after that crash. But he's still...
Yeah, but Izom picking up the maximum points there, again gaining a little bit on Neko in the driver points.
So after Bay we have Black Q, Lolomax and Neko. There's already 80 points between Black Q and Neko, and only 2 between Neko and Izom. But now we have Alpine or Snow. Oh, and this is ULR3 Pills by Clem, which I for some reason forgot. I was thinking about a different track. Who do you think is going to put up the most impressive performance here?
On Alpine. Well, we see in Deutomania that Neko has the top one, so as always with Neko, capable of very, very strong times. Just there is a question of how crashy he can be. Answer typically is, yeah, pretty crashy. Also see Phil in top 5 on Deutomania. And Lolomax and Garfovsky also with strong, strong times here. So those are the main contenders. Who would I call it with? I'm going to say Garfovsky.
I would go with Lolomax. I believe in him. And we should never forget about Black Q. I think you
That's
didn't mention
true.
him. He's definitely one of the fastest snow drivers out there, and he was consistent last time I saw him.
There is some comment about Black Q's car, but it hasn't downloaded for me yet, so not sure if I'll see that or not. You have downloads off, if I remember correctly?
Yes, that is correct, so I see a lot of grey cars.
That's probably a good thing for you. You're probably missing out on Lanz's spectacularly bad horn. Lucky you. Yeah, there are definite benefits to having downloads off. Of course, you do miss out on the various colourful and very stylish skins, such as the famous CMC skins. But anyway, we're into round 1. And we have the leaders, as expected. Garfovsky is leading with Lolomax very tight on him. We have Zepset and Lanz following up after that. Garfovsky making up a bit of time, but Lolomax with slightly better turn there. He's got a bit better speed. As we come into the last 2 turns, who's going to go for the risky finish? Is there going to be bugs here? Nothing bad, so Lolomax takes it. Followed by Garfovsky, Zepset, and Norman putting in an impressive performance on Alpine. Or Snow.
Yes, and Neko with a 101 high must have had a crash. Same with Black Q, only 10th position.
Neko 8th and Black Q 10.
Yes, and Grafowski is right now 6th overall. This is second round of Alpine. Izom with a strong start. Faster than daily top 1 by 400th at the moment. Not anymore. Will anyone crash in this tunnel? Nobody from the leaders. Izom has dropped back into third. It is Grafowski from Black Q, from Izom, from Norman, Neko, Maxi, and only... Wait, Lolomax was hidden on my screen and I somehow miss him. Because he is in contention for the lead, only 1300th behind. Already into the lead. Neko had a bad crash. That will cost him dearly. So Lolomax leading. Will bugs decide anything? Not really. Lolomax, Gafowski, Maxi, Izom and Nemesis are the top 5 finishers.
And Black Q had a very bad crash at a very bad part of the map. I think he had to take the respawn that respawns you backwards because it needs a special route that you can't make otherwise. So yeah, that really cost Black Q dearly. 13th place. So Lolamax really gaining a lot of points on Black Q now, 547 to 531. And we have to say at this point that those two guys are obviously the two main contenders for winning this competition. And Neko with a mistake there loses a lot of places, but he's not actually that far back in time, so certainly potential to pick it up. So we have Izom out in front again. This is a very strong performance from Izom. He's in third place in the driver points just now, only 1 point ahead of Neko. So they're really going to be facing off, and at the moment Izom has the advantage, still keeps first. It's closely followed by Lolomax, Norman, and Q. Neko in fifth. Any bugs this time for Black Q? No bugs. And this finish, who's going to go for the fast finish? Black Q takes the safe one. Neko with a minor bug. Managed to make it into fourth. What happened to Black Q? I missed it. He must have had a crash. Taking the safe finish. That's such a tricky one because you really have to practice. Although it can be taken safer, it doesn't have a bug like the fast finish. You really do need to know the line. It's easy to mess up in both directions, a little bit too far right, a little bit too far left. It's not just losing a little bit of time, you can really mess up and lose a lot of time.
Yes, so at the moment we haven't had anything really displayed by Black Q, and I am frankly surprised, to say the least. But in round number 4 we have Neko in first position, and not anymore because Black Q and Norman have overtaken him, followed by Izom and Lolomax. And Lolomax is definitely... Ooh, Izom crashes there. Norman building up some noticeable lead, but not for long, because Black Q and Neko will be eating away into that lead. Somebody crashed on that transition through the boost. Norman still manages to keep first position. Black Q is neck and neck with him. Will Bugs decide anything? No, they won't. It is very close, but Norman takes the round, followed by Q, Neko, Phil and Lolamax. And Izom had even more crashes.
So I think with that, Norman will actually go past Garfovsky in the driver points, taking 6th place, and he does. Only 3 points ahead of Garf, but that is not what we expected from Alpine. So Black Q finally puts in a good round, just gives himself a little bit more distance over Lolomax. That's only 12 points, so it's not a lot, but a little bit of pause there as we go into the final round for this map. And Black Q with an early lead, but it's not much. Very tight pack. Really no mistakes so far. So I'm following Neko, who is currently in 5th. The first 4 drivers have very slight lead for him. Garfovsky goes past Neko. No mistakes at that hard braking point there. Neko making up some useful time in the tube there. Gets into 3rd. Can everyone hit the boost okay? The leaders do at least. Neko and Lolomax. Very close, and Neko makes it past, but Lolomax comes back. The very strong corner there. Q going for the safe route again. Neko with a bad bug at the finish. Drops 3 places, or 4 was it even, right at the finish. That hurts.
And Black Q, even with the safer finish, manages to get the only 59 in this map. That will definitely help him stay ahead of Lolamax. 15 points between them. Black Q, Lolamax, Izom, but Izom and Neko are tied in points. And now we're into Coast. Will Lolo win on Coast over Black Q? I am not sure at all.
Well, that's a tough one. But 15 points, you think, well, that's only, if you consider the points gap between first and second place, that's only 3 rounds. So, I mean, it's possible, but there are only 5 rounds. And that's only first and second place have that kind of gap. And honestly, Black U and Lolomax, I wouldn't expect them to be in first and second place every round. So I think even that 15-point deficit is probably going to be pretty hard for Lolomax to pull back.
Yes.
On this one map.
I don't really know what to expect from Black Q on this particular track, but my hopes are not up in the sky for Lolomax, that is for sure. I think Izom is going to do a lot of damage based on what we saw in the match against CMC. He's definitely comfortable with this map, he can be consistent, and he is fast.
Phil, another contender here. Corky can also put in good performances on Coast. So if we see those guys picking up some of the top positions, then that's really going to hurt Lolomax's chances of pulling anything back.
I would also expect some strong performances from Tim, from Air Guys. Yes, and that's about it really, for my expectations.
Neko and Izom on equal points, 528. They're too far back to challenge Black Q and Lolomax, but they have their own battle going on there. With another 38-point gap back to Zepset in 5th place.
Okay then, into the first round we go. Norman with a slower start, but Maxi with a bad drop there. Drops some time. Izom already into the lead, followed by Neko actually. And Izom has crashed this round. This is unexpected. Neko still managing to keep that lead, but that is so close between him and Tim, who is trying to overtake Neko, but it is taking a lot of effort. He only now manages to pull out in front, but not for long, because Neko retakes that lead, and with a wall bang he loses it. An incredible round from these two drivers. 254s, so Tim, Neko, Black Q, Phil and Corky are the top 5 finishers. And Lolomax is dropping points to Black Q.
Yeah, that was quite a fight up front. Tim from TFS, somewhat notoriously in Division 2 in ULR this season. And I think it's fair to say they didn't really deserve to be in Division 2. But he does make a mistake there, and Black Q takes over the lead. So we have Black Q from Corky from Tim. These are our top 3. And where is Lolomax? Lolomax is in 5th. At the moment, he is dropping quite a lot of points to Black Q. And with only 4 rounds to go, that's really going to hurt. Tim fighting back. And he goes into first, but Black Q back on the last turn. Makes it back up. Neko again in 3rd with a strong performance. It's not going to be enough to bring him up to Lolomax. But it's putting a gap between himself and Izom. Izom was in 14th place on that round.
Yes, I'm surprised to see Izom crashing 2 of the first rounds. Let's see if he's going to pick it up. We already saw a couple of crashes right at the start. because Izom was fast and consistent, and already somebody else is sliding away. But this time Izom has managed to get through safely in first position from Neko, Corky and Black Q. Lolomax languishing down in 8th. Tim had a bad line there, dropped some time, which put him level with Neko. It is once again neck and neck between these two drivers, but Tim is definitely good at the end. He's probably going to pull away. Ooh, Neko made a mistake, and Black Q sneaked through. Izom finally manages to get a good finish, and with a 54.18, that is an impressive round from him. His closest contender was Tim, almost a second behind, then Q, Neko and Corky, and Lolomax is dropping even more points.
Yeah, with only 2 rounds to go of this competition, I don't think the leader is going to change unless there is a massive disaster from Black Q. He would have to DNF, I think, at this point. Neko with a mistake early on, so he's dropping places. So Izom has an opportunity again. Izom in first to pick up a lot of points on Neko. There at the moment is only an 18-point gap between the two. So Neko is really going to have to fight back. He's fighting with Tim right now, who has also been punished on this round so far. So out in front, Phil has taken over the lead from Izom, and Neko drops more places. Nemesis goes past him. Maxi threatening, doesn't quite get past. Who's up in the lead? Sololomax is in 10th. He's dropping more points. Phil finally putting in a first place here. Kind of performance we hoped for from him. Followed closely by Tim and Corky, who were the sort of the 3 suspects I fingered, as it were. No rude minds, please. As being top contenders here. Followed by Q. And we go into the last round. Black Q has an unassailable lead.
Yes.
Black Q has won this competition.
Yes, and Lance was going for some funky box slides at the end there, entertaining the crowd, so to speak. So last round, yes, as you say, Black Q has already won. Tim is in first, but the third place is not decided yet. So Tim is leading from Izom from Norman. The Trezen drivers, the TNT drivers, may I say, are looking good, and Izom with a slide, and Neko passes him. That will be interesting. Can Neko hold his own and just finish ahead of Izom? I think it will be enough, even if he makes a slight mistake. So Tim is going for the first position. He takes it with a 54.5 from Norman, from Black Q, from Neko and Lolomax. And we can congratulate Black Q.
Yeah, well done, Black Q. Very impressive. So as we thought, Black Q and Lolomax and Neko the main contenders. Izom was a surprise for me. I didn't realize he was such an all-rounder, but he's really put in a strong performance in this competition.
Yes, and Norman finished 6th behind Zepsat, and Gafowski was 7th. And this is how far they managed to climb back up after the earlier bad maps.
Yes, indeed.
So that is it then for us for tonight. Join us, or me, so sometime later this week for more action. Have a good evening, everyone, and goodbye.
Good night.